Namaste and welcome to Soul Family. This video is about signs of Kundalini awakening or spiritual awakening. How it feels like when you're having an awakening. So this is kind of like very well known subject, and you can find lot of information about signs of Kundalini awakening and stuff. But the point is, I don't think when you're going through a Kundalini awakening, I don't think you would ask or you would look up and like Google signs of Kundalini awakening, because you most of the times you will not know that you're having a Kundalini awakening. Your life will be. I will begin with this. The first point. If I had to make points, I don't know how many points I will make because let's see how many comes out. The first point I would say is your life will be upside down. It's going upside down. Everything is falling in your life. This is the first sign. Everything will fall. It's not going to be awesome. It's not going to be fun. It is going to be like hell. When this happens, this is the sign of any kind of awakening. Not only Kundalini awakening, you can call it spiritual awakening, you can call it transformation, or when you begin your process of awakening, your life will turn upside down, because we think our life is right till that point of awakening. Awakening itself is you are upside down, but it is turning you into right position right now. So, but we will feel like our life is turning upside down because we are upside down. It is making it into right situation. So, it's like we think that this is right. So, and we think that this is the right position. But actually, in actuality, we are opposite. We are like this. And so an awakening is turning us upside down again, in the sense to the right position, to the right reality, burning our ignorance. This is what happens in a Kundalini awakening or a spiritual awakening. It's burning your ignorance. When that happens, your old self is literally dying. It's like your persona, who you think you are, is slipping away right in front of you, and you're helpless in that state, because you will be helpless. It's so hard to articulate what's going on in your life and what you're experiencing at the time, because you will try to avoid people. It happens in that way, because in your own aloneness, in the darkness, in the depth of your own darkness, you will find your own light. Till then, you don't know who you are. You don't know your true strength. It is not there yet. So this is one of the signs. This is, I think, this is a very most important, significant sign that everything in your life is falling. You feel like you are a failure. You're failing in everything. And the energy is so intense. The next part of falling down is you'll think that you're dying. So it's like you don't know what's going on, because you're so dead inside. Everything is falling apart in your life. The people, the things, and your job, and your relationships, your family people, your friends, everything falls. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of your own strength and to your own self, to your own soul or own consciousness. You're up leveling it. So this is the very first sign, I would say. And there were so many body changes happens in this process of awakening, but we will be not aware when the Kundalini is awakening, because it's so hard for us to focus on ourselves. The energy is so intense. It'll put us in an this is probably the second point I would say is indifference. You would be in extreme indifference with everything, with the whole creation, people, places, all the things you thought which you thought you were interested in, which you thought that it is giving you happiness, it is your life, it is your passion. All of it will fall. Everything will fall, because at this time you will be in a state of indifference, because you just can't attach to anything. And this is the most awesome period of your life in this awakening, because this is being in grace. This is the first time you're being aware of how the spot you are in, how dark it is, how everything is dead to you. You are dead inside and outside. It's like there is no reason for you to live anymore. This is the second stage. This is the place where you are. Initially, it will be very tough because you don't know what you are living for. You don't know why you are living for. Because you just function like a machine. You go to your work and come back home, go to your work and come back. You're just a dead person, like a dead flower. Nothing is interesting to you. You just can't entertain yourself with anything in life. A beautiful flower is dead to you, a dog is dead to you, a movie is dead to you. It's like you see anything, you can try anything. This is the place people will try to go into doing like alcohol or drugs, or like, the bad habits will take a certain part of time in your life. It might take, if there is availability for you and all that. This is the place where it's like we are uneven and we don't know what you're doing. Even the things you are taking, like, herbs or drugs or alcohol or food, excess food or ice creams or whatever you're into, movies or music or places or whatever your way of distraction and trying yourself to make yourself happy will not work. This is a deep indifference. This is a very good thing which is happening to you, but according to the society, this is like a bad thing happening to you, because your attachment to everything is relieving you. You're, for the very first time, in a state of non-attachment to anything. The entire cosmos, you're not attached to anything, but you just don't know how to handle this as of now. That is all. Because unattachment is strength. Unattachment is extreme awareness, because awareness will never let you attach to anything. So this indifference, after the indifference grows, and there will be a certain point of time that might take a month or 2 months or 6 months, according to whatever the depth of your ignorance and your illusions are. And a point will hit where you see a tiny bit of ray of life inside you. It's like this first step out of the darkness happens. Then you'll see this is just a glimpse. Then that glimpse will make you so alive, even though you are in that darkness, in the depth, in that mode of indifference. And you can call it dark night of the soul. There are many terms for this. That will be a very intense period in a Kundalini awakening. It's super intense, very pure, very powerful, and also very fragile in the beginning. After that, you'll see a little bit of hope, little bit of light, and that point you'll see that, okay, this is just awesome, this is incredible. That tiny bit of hope and tiny bit of perception change, and your strength, you just saw your strength, that'll keep you going. You just began, you just took a step out from that indifference, and that indifference more becomes grace. You will, for the very first time, you'll know what living in grace really is. Feeling grace, which is in every breath we take, because it is a gift. Everything we do, everything we see, and everything we eat, and everything we feel is a big gift to us. But this is not an understanding, this is a realization. You need to go there and feel it. So it's a process. It's the Kundalini energy and or the spiritual awakening will lead you there. It has to happen. Then you will see beauty everywhere. It's like you'll remain in this awesome, what is this kind of feeling? What is this beauty everywhere? All of this sudden. So it'll take time to get there. This is like 6 months to couple of years worth of time, whatever I'm talking about. It might be many years too, maybe 3 years, 4 years for some people. So, but I'm trying to get out of my own experience. I don't want to like give it bullet points. I just don't like to do that. I want to be spontaneous. I don't like my mind to be thinking to frame certain things. I just want it to get as it is. So yeah, second part is this. uh, after indifference, your life will slow down a little bit. After you've seen this light inside you, then the intensity is turned. The way the intense this Kundalini awakening is, and all the harshness and the toughness and this how can I say this, then this uneasiness and the thing that you felt like you're dying, and this your whole life is wasted and all that, the intensity of the energy which is telling you and making you feel that you're done in life, that same energy will take a different form. It is routing itself to the beauty part, and that same energy will show you how beautiful life is. The energy is same, but the perception changed, if you know what I'm talking. It's the same energy and the same intensity which made you feel everything is so painful. That is the intensity, that is the same intensity which is diverted and showing you a different kind of wisdom and the beauty all around you. The energy is same though. So with this thing, many things will change. Food will change, especially. You might, if you're a heavy meat eating kind of person, if your food habits are into like kind of like violent things, like especially meat deals with a lot of violence. And when an animal dies, especially in US, the killing process is not that sane, I would say. It's like killing the animal in a shock by giving it an electric shock or something like that. It's so shocking. So when that happens, it's not dying in a relaxed way. There are certain things where they kill an animal with a very relaxed way, that the animal doesn't even know that it's slit, but it slowly the blood bleeds off, and it'll die in peaceful and calmness, because it can't move. It just, the blood is flowing out. It'll slowly get dizzy and leave the body. So, but when the shock happens, what will happen is it'll clinch when that happens, and when the brain releases all the fear hormones in the body, and we eat all that fear. For you to observe this, you need to do a lot of meditation. You need to reach certain levels of depth in meditation. When that happens, the moment after you experience a certain depth in the meditation, you try to eat meat, then you'll know, once you eat meat, how the thoughts are changing, how the fears are beginning. You can observe it. It really happened to me many times. Once I had my awakening and stuff, and out of my own body's need, that if you are a person who, I also spoke this in a different video of my videos, but I'll speak about it again here, since this is about Kundalini and stuff. So if you're born in a family where you ate meat and stuff, your body is made by drawing certain kind of minerals and amino acids and protein from meat. So your system, your digestive system, is made to extract and those nutrients from the meat and include it into your body. This is a memory of the body. This is the process of the body it has inside you. So once the awakening happens, we just can't touch meat again. We become so sensitive that when I had my awakening, there were shit ton of spiders in my home which I didn't kill. It's like I just couldn't kill, even though it's a spider. I just let it go. There were spiders. There were a couple of times there were rats too. So I didn't kill them at the time. I couldn't. I'm too sensitive. I couldn't even pluck a flower because it's beheading a peak of a plant. A flower is the peak time of a plant. It's the beauties. It's like in its peak moment when the flower happens. I just can't behead that for my own decoration. So I was in that sensitivity when I'm having this awakening, because I'm with it. So and it's like you're at your peak in your life and someone just stole all of it. So it's the same thing when that happened to me. So it's like I can see all that in nature too, and I couldn't even think of killing anything, even though it might hurt me. Surprisingly, my bedroom was super clean, even though I had spiders in my kitchen and stuff, and areas somewhere. They never entered my bedroom. It's so weird. It's like my bedroom is always clean. I don't know. Maybe I'm living there, whatever they know or something. I just so yeah, and so when this food change happens, you will naturally become a vegan or a vegetarian, because your awakening will guide you. That energy will guide you to whatever the food is required for your process to be easy on you. If you keep eating meat, it's a heavy thing in your body. And awakening and meat eating doesn't go together. It is so harsh on the system. You're toughening the whole thing again and again for you. It's like you're putting a lot of weight on it, rather than making it into a free space where the energy channels should be free eating vegetarian food. So I became a vegetarian for a couple of years, and I'm still a vegetarian. But sometimes I get this deep craving to eat a certain kind of meat. Then I'll go eat it. It's like once or twice a year I get this pull, and I know when this happens, and I'll just eat it. It feels so good at the time because it kind of replenishes my whole system and all the things. I could just feel it. My face feels really soft the next day. I don't know how it changes. So, but I don't get this feeling like to eat every day or every month. It's just like once or twice a year. So in a year. So don't you just be easy on whatever it's pushing you towards, or whatever it's like it wants it. Because if we compress the desire, then the desire will like it'll blast sometime. It'll blow up once we just pushing all these things down. I'm like, even though you feel this intense feeling to eat meat, but you're pushing it down, that you had an awakening, you only have to eat vegetarian food, you're compressing it, and that's not going to go anywhere. It's going to create more problems. Let it go. Just eat it and let it go. Just don't get attached to this. Just let that go, and that's it. It'll not bother you for probably many years or never. Who knows? So yeah, this is one of the thing. And non-violence. This is the part I'm explaining, like how the food may be the third, and the fourth kind of non-violence, where you can't kill anything. You can't even think of hurting the tiniest things, like pulling your flower out, or you just can't do that, because it's like the process of your own awakening is knowing that the source of life and the source of creation is within you, and it's getting out of you to show you in experience level that it is inside you. And once you're experiencing it, when you are in that, you will be in total grace. You can't even think, even your thoughts of hurting something. That might be alive, that might be dead, doesn't matter. Like if you say a plant is not alive, you're not even going through an awakening yet. So it's like, it is so alive. A plant is super alive. So all these things happens, and kind of like, the food and non-violence, maybe part 4 I would say. Let's get into the body. What happens to the body? In my view, I had intense to tingle feeling right between my eyes, right here. Sometimes here, like 1 inch inside, or sometimes like in the center from right here, in the middle part of it. It's sometimes it's so tingly and so nice. I lay on my bed and it feels like amazing, like super tingling here, and it feels like I can feel it. It's like there's something is crawling inside. It feels like that in a very nice way, in a very like comfortable and massaging inside, and like kind of like this. I can't name it. It is so good though. But there are also times which is so intense that I can't move. I'm floored to my bed. It's like it'll put me down. Like I feel the pressure so hard that it just I feel like my head is like probably 1,000 pounds. I can't move it at the time. But it's not bad though. I can't say it's hurting. The pressure is so intense that it'll make me feel so heavy, and like I had to like lie down on my bed and just feel it. Whatever it's like showing me or taking me. I don't know what exactly the Kundalini energy is doing in between my eyebrows. But I only feel this intense pressure putting me down. That's all. Sometimes tingly, sometimes it'll make me laugh a lot, like smile a lot on my bed without any reason. I keep smiling for like 30 minutes, like straight. There's no thoughts or nothing, just like smile, that's all. So that will happen sometimes, and when it puts me down really hard, like really, really hard, like right in front. It's like it's the feeling is unexpressible simply. But all I can say is you can feel pressure between your eyebrows. This happened to me, so I'm hoping it might happen to all the people who had their Kundalini awakening or going through an awakening. Because this is not permanent though. That pressure is not permanent. But I had this for many months in intervals. So it's just like now it lowered down. Sometimes it'll happen. Maybe sometime once in a week for a whole day or half a day it might happen. It takes turns, but it's not in a way where it's completely putting me down that I can't function. It is there. I can feel the pressure. Sometimes I go into deep meditations when that happens. I just close my eyes, and like that's the best thing I could do at the time to just start meditating, because it feels really amazing when the pressure. It's like a call, like it's like a call. Like yeah, I need to start meditating at the time. So I take it in this way when that happens to me. So now what's the other thing in the body wise? My stomach changed, my eyes changed. I used to look like this before. It's like wide open. My eyes kind of changed. The color of my eyes little whitened. There's so many things. It's like it changed in my awakening. It's kind of like it is so hard to articulate it because it's still going on. It's like your body is adapting to the new consciousness you just experienced. And even though the new consciousness is not permanent, because an awakening, there are many stages in awakening. Watch the other video I made, like right before the video, where I explain the stages, what happens after an awakening, and the stages of different kinds of. There are different kinds of awakening, which is written in yoga. So I've explained a little bit deeper in that video. Hope it might help you if you're into like in the process of spiritual awakening or Kundalini awakening, and that video might help you to ease you a little bit, because this is not something comfortable. It is it is not something where you can say that the bliss is there. The bliss that part will come later. When your body is adapting, your illusion is burning, your illusion is dying. When your ignorance is burning, it will be painful. Without this, there is no awakening, and it is not comfortable. All that bliss will come later. That part, your body has to adapt to that. I felt my liver changed. I felt the whole thing changed, because it kind of like changed itself into. I felt all these things in my stomach, in my torso. The whole thing in my torso is just continuously changing itself. I could feel that something is adjusting in there. It's like a lot happened, because I think it made me ready for eating more kind of like vegetarian food, I would say. After my awakening, I can't digest non-vegetarian food that easy. It's like it just the whole thing changed. It's like the process of extracting the nutrients from whatever the food I eat, that whole system changed. I don't know how many body parts are included in it, the intestines and all that. It's kind of like I had trouble in my stomach initially. It's like it is not to the point where I could go to a doctor, but it's just like changing, and it's this discomfort and all that. So that will happen. The bodily changes will happen. So, and it made me more conscious of what it is going through. Slowly, this comes. This body consciousness comes. So let's just say the body thing is number 5. I want to see. I'll keep forgetting which number. Which number is it? So let's just say 5. In spontaneity, this will happen. So it's like number 5 is bodily changes, and number 6 is body consciousness. How your own awakening will tell you how to help your body, what to eat, what not to eat. You will feel this intuition when you go buying your stuff. You gotta start listening to it. It'll take some time for you to like listen to what your how can I say this? What your what your intuition or your higher self is telling you, because we generally don't listen to that. We'll go with the old pattern of buying the food we like to buy. With that pattern, we'll go into, like, Walmart or whatever, like, Whole Foods or whatever the store you're buying from. You just go there and, like, you buy the same stuff again, even though you feel that, okay, this stuff is not right for me. You might feel it, but you just will not go with it. So yeah, and go with, learn to give some time whenever your intuition, your gut is telling you what you need to buy and what you not need to buy. It's like your body needs to be changed to the new consciousness. It needs to be adjusted to the wisdom you're feeling, because when you have an awakening, the energy shifts. With the energy shift, your body needs to be shifted to contain that energy. So, and the way it'll guide you, you follow that. It's best to follow what it is telling you, what your intuition is telling you. Maybe do some yoga, do some stretches. So I slowly got into my own body, like, in an awesome way. I never felt all these things before, like what's happening in my body. Just close my eyes and feel it consciously, like the entire system inside, and how beautiful it is, how amazing it's functioning, and how many things are happening inside. And so this body consciousness will show you that how sensitive you are. Yeah, probably this number 6 is sensitivity. Sensitivity is awareness itself, because sensitivity will become attachment and become problem if you attached yourself or your emotions to that sensitivity, whatever the thing you're feeling. Because sensitivity is pure awareness. When you're sensitive, that you're sensing it, you're feeling it, and you're very aware of it. But if you don't know how to handle it, you'll deny that sensitivity, saying that, shit, I don't want to be sensitive right now. So that means you are so conscious about something, you're aware, your body, your mind is aware of something, but you don't know how to handle it, so you're pushing it away. The more aware you become, the less attached you become in life. So when the sensitivity increased in your body, you take it as a gift. It is a wonderful gift if you know how to handle it. If you should learn meditation, I would definitely say to learn meditation, because I don't give advices, but this is what I did. So sensitivity, take it as a pure gift, because you are feeling all the energy around you. So I can give an example to this. When I was 2 months ago, I camped in the forest for a little bit, and I put my earplugs on, and I was trying to go to sleep. It was just about my bedtime, and I was getting goosebumps, and my hair on the whole body is standing. I'm like, what is this? It's pretty calm, and I'm like doing nothing. My thoughts were clean. There's nothing happening for me to get goosebumps right now. So I open my earplugs, and these insects are communicating with each other. This group of insects are communicating with each other in an amazing way. So even though I can't hear it, but my body is sensing it. This is sensitivity. And I kind of removed it and slept like that, and felt all these things. And this is an example of how sensitive you can get in a Kundalini awakening. This sensitivity will build your intuition to a deeper level. If you start accepting it and not react to everything you're feeling, every sensitive feeling you're having, don't react to it. Just be with it, not react to it. Just respond to that. Just don't react to this I don't want this right now, I don't want to feel this right now, or whatever. Whenever your body and your mind is sensitive to things, because sensitivity is a lot of information. It's a different form of information. Your logical mind didn't understand it yet, that's all. So but slowly you learn these lessons, how sensitivity can be helpful to you. It'll begin. So I hope you take time with this sensitivity, because it'll deepen your intuition really, really well. Because when you see a person, you can feel the energy. With single word of that person spoke to you, you can decide that if that person is right or wrong to you. That intuition will open. This is hard to explain, because if I start explaining this thing, if the people who didn't have this experience, they want to understand it logically, it will not happen. This is not logic. Intuition is beyond logical. So you can't explain intuition, why you felt what you felt. That will be real or not, you'll see it later. You take your chances. I kind of tested it. I kind of tested my own intuition, like I don't know, it was just like my mind is making up these things, who knows. So I kind of tested it, and I had many confirmations. After that, I'm like, okay, this is definitely working. So I could feel that person, and like I can see a person is talking to me something and thinking negative about me or something else. I could feel that energy. I could just feel it. The thoughts rolling behind their eyes. Initially, I didn't like it. I just pushed it. I just don't want to feel that, but because I don't know how to handle this. So this sensitivity will bring you that level of perception if you allow it to grow like a seed inside you. So yeah, this is number 6, and see what I can. Number 7. Since we are at sensitivity, so synchronicity, I'm trying to like align whatever I'm experiencing. So synchronicity in life, you'll begin seeing synchronous things. Like things are very synchronous. You'll be amazed by how synchronous your life is. So this will come like once a while, like once a day, or like maybe once a week, depending upon the situation, how synchronous it is, and how surprisingly, shockingly synchronous it is. It depends on how apart you are from your own being. So it's like if you're close enough, if you're far enough, there are certain things which you'll be like, holy cow, this is so synchronous. This is like your mind is blown. You think about something, it just manifests in the next couple of minutes. These things will happen. Let's just say you want to find something. You're just doing your own thing in whatever, at your work or something, and you thought about like, how about if I do this, or how about if I learn this. In the next 1 to 2 minutes, someone just give you a brochure of what you want, what you just thought. This happened to me like many times. So this is when you are a bit far from yourself. These things will happen. You'll notice it like, wow, I just thought about this. Someone just gave me information about it without even me starting to even think about it. This is just the thought which is already manifested. So these things will happen, and the more closer you become, the more you are aware of yourself, and like the more deeper you go into meditation, you'll see that all the situations in your life is synchronous, not just one or two. Every situation, every moment is in synchronous. This will initially come and go. You'll feel it and you'll come out of it. You'll feel it, you'll come out of it. This happens until you are enlightened. Until you reach your enlightenment in this life or next life or many lives or tomorrow, who knows. So until you reach that, you'll get into that zone of seeing that whole life is in synchronous. Every situation, good situation and bad situation, good situation and bad situation, everything is in synchronicity with yourself. All the actions you did are in synchronous with the results of it. So every breath you take is in synchronous. So once you realize this, then the counting of the synchronicity in your life will go down, because there are so many things that you can't count anymore. It's like your life is becoming like that. You are becoming the entire life, from waking up to sleep, your whole life is in synchronous for many hours sometimes. You can't find enough books to write that shit down. It'll be like so many things that you'll just let it go and live it. Accept it and just live it. So maybe one day we'll root ourselves in permanent synchronicity. And once you've seen this, once you get into that level of synchronicity where you experienced your whole life in synchronous, then you'll celebrate the bad moments and good moments equally. You cannot make a distinction saying that I'm very happy and I'm going to celebrate the good moments, and I'll be down and sad and depressed when things are going bad. This will change. This is because I laugh at my bad times. When I'm down, I'm completely like, when I'm hurt, even though like I was just walking a couple of days ago and I knocked my feet, my toe finger, like really hard into the wall. It hurt like hell, almost like broke, kind of hurt. and, and I started, it's like a gut laughing. It's like painful. I'm tearing up and I'm laughing. I'm laughing really hard. So it's kind of like the pain and the pleasure becomes the same. So it's kind of like the good part and the bad part becomes the same. So this is this when the synchronicity, the depth of the synchronicity increases, then the distinction of good and bad will go. You'll celebrate everything equally in life because it is happening exactly as it should be, because I'm unconscious at the time. I was unaware of my walk-in, so and I knocked my feet into the wall. So thinking something else. I was in the la la land for a little bit. about something, about a woman, just had a kiss and stuff. So it's kind of like at the time. In the past, not now, in the past. So I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, it was like a good memory popped in my head, and I knocked my feet somewhere. So yeah, and oh, this is 7, right? Okay, let's say 8 is confusion and clarity. Confusion and clarity. Wow. This is like a zigzag kind of thing. It's like, when we are in that clarity, when the Kundalini awakened, I don't know what I can call this video, what I should name this video. It's like Signs of Awakening, because the things I'm saying is not just when you're awakening, because if you're awakening, I'm 100% sure that you can't search for your own thing saying that Kundalini awakening. You would not, major percentage of people will not know that this is Kundalini awakening or a spiritual awakening. The intensity will not let you search. That's how it will be. But you landed on this page, I'm sure that you might already had symptoms of awakening, or you had certain kind of intensity and discomfort in your life where it gave you a burst of clarity and wisdom. Then you want to look at what this is. So these are the things where you might search. So I'm giving it in a way where it's not just the signs of Kundalini awakening itself, but it's like while you're going through, or when you're in it, or a little bit after it. So all these things combined together. So confusion and clarity. Confusion and clarity. This is a subject, man. This is kind of like these moments of burst of clarity we feel, like everything is amazing and blissful, and we are in this unexplainable happiness and joy inside us, that everything is in place. We feel this awesome peace, and all the problems at the time become so tiny in front of you that they become like a speck where you can handle it with a smile. And all these feelings of the super clear clarityness, then you be in that and then come back to confusion again, like whoosh and whoosh. It's like up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. So in Kundalini awakening, this will happen. There will be moments of bursts of clarity like never before in your whole life. You might solve a lot of problems if the clarity is even just for 1 minute. And this clarity might stay 30 minutes, 1 hour, 5 hours, 10 hours, a day, or a week, or a month, or a couple of months to 6 months, or to 1 year. It ranges. It ranges on the karma we did, on the actions we performed in this life and past lives. It counts. So, and when this happens, we try to cling when that thing is leaving us, when the clarity is going down. And because there are times after the clarity is done, or before we are entering into the clarity, So before or after we are entering into the clarity, we'll make our illusions, we'll make our perceptions and conclusions about things. And that clarity will clear all the conclusions we made, because the conclusions you're making right now is at a stage of certain level of consciousness. And when that raises, this conclusion will become stupid. Whatever you concluded that, I'll give an example to this. If you concluded that someone is a negative person on an action they did today, and you convince yourself that this person is negative on a certain action, but you convince yourself based on this action, not on their totality. Their totality might be totally different. We need time to spend with them and all that, and they keep changing. So the conclusions you're making, all things is the foundation of your suffering. And the clarity you feel at the time will show you how stupid this conclusion was. This is when the clarity enhances. We feel these awesome feelings because it will clear the clutter of all the conclusions and give us a chance to laugh about ourselves, that what we are doing. So this part, when that happens, then we are in this land of clarity, and we'll try to cling to that clarity because it is so good it feels amazing to live in there, and it's such easiness and such fearlessness in that zone of fearlessness. So it is kind of like, we are in this, and it's kind of like leaves you in a certain level of clarity, and our mind is clinging towards it, and then the fall becomes harder. Then once we come back to the confusion again, then that'll become harder. We'll try to cling and cling and cling. The confusion is pulling us down, and then we come into the confusion again, and we'll stay there for a little bit, make our conclusions again and things, and then it'll take us to the clarity again. This is the cycle of ourselves evolving. Slowly we make the clutter, we clear the clutter. We make the clutter and we clear the clutter. So this is what's happening in this zone. And the wisdom you experienced in a Kundalini awakening, especially if your awakening is through a meditation and you reach the state of samadhi, when you experienced how powerful the source of creation is, and how there is no beginning and end to that creation's energy, that part of the wisdom will guide you in this clarity. The moments of clarity we have is the one which is drawing from that wisdom to show you all these things. Let it happen. Do not cling. Equally enjoy when you go down and you go high to the clarities. Enjoy and try to laugh. Try to laugh, like smile about your own self, which makes the journey really easy, actually. So this is one thing. And synchronicity I covered, and what all I can, like, let's see, food I've covered it. Relationships, you will definitely lose people in your life when the spiritual process is awakening. I made a video on it. Like, my other video goes into, like, in detail about, let's just say this is the 9th one, saying that losing people or losing people in your spiritual awakening, and especially relationships and friendships. And this is just, you'll renounce everything. Your energy will renounce all the relationships you're having. The bond you think you have is the attachment you have with them. That'll just renounce itself. You might be still friends and maintain contact with them, but they don't like your company anymore because your authenticity changed. There are some people who will definitely are drawn towards what you experience because they're ready to, or they're going through their journey without knowing. They're energetically drawn, and most people will walk away because you suddenly changed. And watch my other video for that, which says that spiritual awakening, the video name is Spiritual Awakening, and losing people and no goals. I just made a video on it. So it goes deeper into this aspect, because these are things, but the explanation has to be given rather than misunderstanding it. And the fears, okay. There will be so many fears when you're going through awakening process. Uh, but once you experienced it, once you've seen the glimpse of the other side, you'll experience your fearlessness for the very first time. All our actions are based on fears as of now. Till you experience the other side, till you experience this awakening, you will not know how to really think fearfully. Your mind doesn't even know, can't even conceive what a fearlessness is, even for a moment of time. It can't conceive it. It doesn't know how to do it, because we were born in fear. The moment we came out of the womb, we are fed with fears. So many fears. You need that job, you need this education, otherwise this will happen, that will happen. People just put a lot of stuff into our head, in the society, in the movies, and that, and this controlling nature of the governments, of people, and like it's just happening since ever, in the religions, and they put so many things into you, the guilt and like shame and all these negative things. It's just put onto you so that they can control you. So when you experience the first time in this Kundalini experience, you'll know what fearlessness is. You'll really know how it feels like to be in a mode of fearlessness, to be in a mode of strength, to own yourself. So yeah, this is what happens. Yeah, I don't know. It feels so good to talk about all this. It's like, because I had to go down to those moments of that time when I experienced the state of fearlessness for the first time in my life. It's so precious. It's very, very precious. And I kind of it just given me this glimpses of kind of like meditativeness, where it's just telling me to stop this video and to go do some meditation and remain in silence for a little bit. Because I remained in silence for 4 months after my Kundalini awakened. So I still remain in silence for most of the time in the day, unless I'm making a video or someone reached out to talk to me. Other than that, so hope this video. Oh, okay, I have to say one more thing. I just wanted to finish it, but equalness. So this is the 10th. So I could just fix this as 10th. It's like, I can finish this, I guess. Perfect. So equalness comes to you in a way where you will start seeing things equally. In the sense, I lost the difference between how I see my sister and how I see my friend's sister. This is an example I wanted to give. I see no difference between these two people, even though one is my own sister and the other one is my friend's sister. Still, it's like, in a way, they both are people to me, simply. All the bondage I had was dissolved in my Kundalini awakening. It just completely dissolved and renounced the whole thing. It's kind of like, how can I say this? I still have the connection with them, but not in a way they can control me emotionally, or they have certain level of control on me. I don't have that anymore. A Kundalini awakening just renounced the whole thing of my bondages and connections with people. It renounced everything to the next level. I didn't lose the connections, but it's not in a way where we think that the bond we have with people is the true loving bond we have, but it's not like that. We are attached to those people, that's all. When compassion begins in you, when love begins in you, that attachment will dissolve and love will really begin. It's like love will take over that attachment. Then you'll not have, they can't control you at all. It's like you don't give out that, you don't put out that someone else can control you emotionally. So, and this will happen. So it's kind of like, and you lose seeing people and giving different levels of respect because of their achievements. You just lose this thing, because this has been taught to us. Someone is well established in life, and someone has more money, or someone has higher education, and someone is like in good in their achievements, and so that they deserve more respect than the other people who are not doing well in financially, who are not that educated. This clutter will go. So you'll see people equally. It's like in all, you'll lose this thing of seeing people with their skin color, their nationality, how can I say this, their financial status, their lifestyle. You lose this. You might have a certain kind of relatedness, more relatedness, where you might spend more time with someone who is at your level, or who is good at what you like to do, and he or she is also good at what they're doing in their life. Maybe you would like to spend more time with them because you're aligned with that, your interest is aligned with that person. But that doesn't mean that you found someone, a homeless person on the roadside. That doesn't mean that you're going to give these people high respect because their achievements, and you like treat the other person, you don't give equal respect to a homeless person. It's not going to be like that. The basic foundation of respect is being human. You'll feel that. Then you lose this this way of seeing people according to their backgrounds, to their nationality. You lose all this layers and layers and layers of illusions, and all these layers, and the job, and the nationality, and the skin color, and like the place, and like whatever, like their lifestyles, and like the things they are interested into, or the material wealth they have, or whatever. All these layers, behind all these there will be one more layer of ego, which will make you judge with all these layers in front of that. The ego will like use all these layers and create the judging mind inside you to show you whom you need to give high respect and low respect. But the life force, the source of creation, is equal in everyone. So once you see this, you lose seeing things in this, and you might make friends who are really good for you in a way, like either who are equal to you, or financially, or rich or not rich, or whatever. And you'll also make you'll also make friends who are in a very low level than who you are, in like a career level or something. It doesn't matter anymore. It's like you'll give time to them, you'll give time to these people too, because they need your suggestions, they need your help to get out of where they are in. So the work is more over there rather than people who fix themselves. So you need to take more. It's like this adjusting happens, and the equalness will begin, and you'll see people equally rather than seeing them distinctly. And 11th point is connection with the nature. And this should be like, this is very important actually. I thought I should finish with number 10, but the 11 popped up. So connection with nature will improve in an unimaginable way. Unimaginable way. It's like, I can't even begin because nature becomes everything to you. I can't stress this thing enough. Nature becomes everything to you, because it is so entertaining that you would never try to. It's been one whole year. In like past 1.5 years, I turned my TV in July for a few days. That's all. even for watching YouTube, I just don't turn my TV on. So I don't have a TV connection. Just I use this TV it's a Google TV, and I use it just to like watch some YouTube videos and stuff. Yeah. So kind of like, even for that, I just don't turn it on. It's like nature is too entertaining to me. It is so amazingly beautiful that I lose myself when I take a walk in a park, by seeing all these flowers and the birds, and that everything is, I'm so attentive to everything for the first time. So nature becomes like a wonderland, really. It's like for the first time you've seen the beauty, but not to the level where everything is you seeing is you're responding with it, you're feeling inside your body. So this will happen. It's such an amazing thing, like such an amazing thing. It's just so good. Like It's another level altogether. And your entertainment source and the source of your learning, the nature becomes the source of your learning, because it'll teach you so much, it'll amaze you. It's like, it's never ending. It's a live painting. It'll move every moment. It'll change every moment. It's like a changing art all the time, right? So, and you get into that, and you feel even the breath itself. When you're taking the breath, it feels so good and so alive when you're in the park, or the relationship with plants will grow. It's like the relationship you have so far, and the relationship you'll have after your Kundalini awakening is entirely different. You're in a certain level of understanding, and it's like, when it deepens, the secrets open. How intelligent plants are will open, because I will not talk about this. This is a lesson just for me. I'll only talk with people who are at to this level, because other than that, people will, they kind of like, it's like a woo woo for people who didn't experience this. I'm not trying to like demean them or something. Just like, the people who didn't see this will think that, oh, you're talking to plants, like what? What? Because I used to say that when I was in a corporate life before, and like, if you see me 4 years ago and now, it's like I'm completely totally different person entirely. Like, it's unbelievable to me. I laugh at myself when I see pictures of my own self before my awakening. It's like, I can't relate to that. I know that person is me, but he's not in me anymore. It's like, it's gone totally. This is like awesome. So it's like, the people who experience it, they can understand me very well, because it's like, you're like a different person altogether. You lost that. You shed that personality, and you're new now. So this connection will get deeper, and like, your interest in herbs and different kinds of herbs, and like, there's so many, there are hundreds of them who are like so helpful for the body, for healing, and like calming the Kundalini and all that. There's so many things. Your own Kundalini will lead you to that. I can put up the herbs and stuff, but those herbs needed to be respected and not abused. But they are not kind of like psychoactive herbs and stuff. They are the opposite actually. They'll fix all the damage, the psychoactive things, and all the other alcohol and things which damage your brain cells and stuff. They'll fix it. But these are very powerful herbs. So I don't want to like give it on YouTube just like that, because they need to find you rather than you going to them. That's how they'll come to you. When you're ready, it'll come to you. It'll happen. So yeah, thank you so much for sticking and listening to what my story, and then these explanations of Kundalini awakening and the things it'll change. And there's so many to list. It's like, it'll go on. So the video is already longer, but if I feel like making it, or if I missed some important points, if I remember it later, I might make a second video. So thank you so much. Be in this mode of grace, and enjoy the ups and downs, and surrender. Probably 12th point. Things are coming up. So the 12th point would be surrenderance. This is a very important thing, because we need to learn how to surrender. Because when you're that's the only way. In the second point I said, when you're like in the zone of indifference and the dark night of the soul, and the intensity and all the darkness you feel, before you enter the ray of light, before you see your own light, you need to surrender in totality. Otherwise you can't get out of that dark night of the soul. That's why for some people it will take longer. After you surrender totally to the experience you're feeling, that's when you will see how powerful you are, and the experience is happening for a reason. All these things are happening for a reason. It is awakening you to a different wisdom and to a different life. So you just like, your wisdom is keep growing, and you're walking towards your own liberation, and this will happen. So please keep surrenderance in mind, because it's a very important thing. Surrenderance is the sweetest thing in an awakening, because it is the first step which will take you to be in grace for the first time in your life. When grace happens, prayer happens automatically. Prayer is being in prayer, not the word shitty play we do, the fancy words we mix together where we call it prayer these days. And it's like a program. That's not prayer to me at all. That is not prayer. When you are in prayer, I can assure you that you can't speak. It is so hard to speak when you are in prayer, in the mode of prayer. Because when you are in prayer, you can't ask for things for yourself, because it is already working on you. You are with the grace. There is no need to ask. You just surrender to that, and things will happen. Your own pain will become your own greatest strength, and it'll become your own greatest teacher when you surrender to your own awakening. So please keep this in mind. And I wish you all the very best. I have respect for you if you're going through this process, because this is an intense process. It's a life-changing, life-altering process. So take care. Much love to you.